In this video, I'm going to ask a Q players who do this test. This is a Go style test. In the introduction, it said that even a 20Q Go player has a unique style. In this test, there are 4 styles: influence-oriented, passive, greedy, aggressive, and lastly, there is a last option, flexible. So flexible means that you can choose between these 4 styles. This opening style test, it seems to ask about your oriented style, but I think there are better and worse choice. So I would like to discuss it with you. So let's start. This is the first question. Now it's white to play. What will be your choice? E. Good. Okay, next question. Black to play.
E again?
E.
Yes.
Corner enclosure. Okay. Question 3. White to play. So for this question, your choice is boy. Question 4. Black first to play.
Oh,
Black to play.
B.
Point B. Question 5. D for dog. Question 6. Black first. D's approach.
Yes.
Okay. Question 7. Point B. The Tengen. Question 8. D. Extend. Question 9.
C.
Point C. Okay.
Yes.
Corner enclosure. Question 10. Black first. Point C. Question 11. Black first. E. Point E. Question 12.
Yeah, B.
Question 13.
B.
Point B. Good. Question 14. White first.
C.
Point C. This is the last question.
B.
Point B. So let's see the result. Your style is flexible. Yeah, I actually think you have done a great job in this exercise. In the script, he said that your Go style is flexible and you can play for territory as well as for influence. And your Go style is actually the best one. According to this test, actually flexible is the best one. Being greedy or influence oriented or too passive are all not as good as being flexible. So actually I think your opening skills is quite good. But now let's start to discuss the question. This is the first question. You have chosen E. Okay, let me analyze this question. So firstly, point A. What point A means is that if whites don't play, black may play this one and leave the corner clearly. But if white play the point A, then after black block, it's possible for white to kill the corner by place in or a hane. This will become a core. So white may try to start a core and prevent black to leave the corner. That's what point A means. Of course, if it's only a core, that means after point A, black block is only a core, then it's not the greatest move at the moment. And here, white may wants to prevent black play point A as a center. However, point A is also not a center at the moment. Because after black playing point A, the next move could cut off the 4 white stones, only worth around 8 points or maybe 9. It's not a great move. So, point A is certainly not correct. And then point B and point D is too greedy, trying to break through the black's territory and destroy all the territories of the black. However, these two choices neglected that white also have a weak group, and by doing so, you make the white group weak, even though you may leave all the groups and destroy the black's territories. The outcome would not be good. And point C is actually an interesting choice. However, I think point C is focusing on limiting the moyo created by the black. However, at this moment, it's not hurry to limit black's moyo, because if black want to expand, white could actually play an extension on the edge. As a result, the expansion of the moyo is not great at the moment. If black have 1 or 2 more stones here, then playing a point C may make sense, preventing black to play the nice move to expand. However, at this moment, it is not hurry to limit black's moyo. And point E is the greatest move at the moment, so you are correct. I think point E should be the best move at the moment. It is a very common shape. You play the splitting move, and black play this one. You play 2 space extension in the next move. Getting the large knight move worth a lot of points. Usually, this move worth around 20 points. It is hard to calculate, but it's a very great point. So, in the second question, you have chosen point E. So, why did you choose that one?
Because I think it's big, already not very far from another black stone on the right.
But don't you afraid of white's moyo to expand?
Maybe then point B or C would have been better.
Oh,
A, I think it's too profound.
I see. In this question, I think first talk about point A. Point A is, of course, I think too greedy. Whites have many stones waiting to fight, and if black try to place in, then white will attack the stone fiercely. Usually, black will not get very good results. And for point B is an interesting choice, but I think it's not a common choice for the Joseki. Actually, it is an outdated Joseki played like this one. Black play star, white play here, black play this one, and then white play the double, black play this press, white play the 3-3 invasion, black block. Nowadays, we will play this one. We will always play this one. But this is an outdated Joseki, played around 20 years ago. Yeah. And then extend and white connect. That's the shape of this one. So in this Joseki, black 4 stones are very solid. A very solid group would not like to play point B to further expand. It's just not worthy to play a stone, because after white play here, white do not have any pressure to this group, and after black play here, black also have no pressure to white's group. it doesn't seem to be a great move according to the shape. But I understand that people like to play pawn b because they think that this is the key point for the expansion for both sides. In that way to think, pawn b may make sense. However, at this moment, after black played pawn b, white may play approach directly or play splitting move directly, and pawn b could not help to expand. While white's Moyo mainly focus on the bottom left. That means point B is actually not the key point for white to expand. If white need to choose a point to expand, white may choose around maybe the large knight move here, or if more greedy, large knight move here, but not playing point B. The gap between point B and this stone is too wild. So black could get into white's Moyo easily if white expand at point B. As white won't expand at point B, black also do not like to play at point B. That's what I think. I think point C and point E would make more sense than point A and B. Point C and E would make more sense. Point E is just trying to do the own business, playing corner enclosure, a big move for blacks. While point C is the move to limit white's Moyo. Both make sense and doing their job. But I think the correct choice here would be point D. I think actually it's quite interesting why there would be a choice of point D. Because I think this is simply a center. However, this is an interesting center. That's because it's asking for white response. If white connect, then black simply gained. Black simply played the exchange. This a gain for black. So after the exchange, black may consider playing point C. I think that was the question wants black to do. But when black played the Atali, there is another choice for white, which is capture. If white capture, white will get a more solid shape because there is less center that could be utilized by black because there is no longer a ladder after white capture. But if white capture, then white will lose some territories on the edge. As a result, this is a painful choice for white. If white connect, black simply gained some territories. And if white capture, although white have solved one defect for the shape, but it's also quite a losing move in terms of territories. As a result, I don't see why black don't play point D. Point D looks comfortable and white is a bit difficult to choose. Question 3. In this question, you choose point B, the shoulder hit. Can you tell us why you have chosen this?
I'm not sure how this point B is going to be able to connect to the stone. There are not a lot of white stones, so I don't know. I think it's late, never too late than never.
So you're playing point B because you are afraid that black further expand. Although you know that this shoulder hit may have some risk, but you prefer to take the risk. I think that's your opinion. Okay, let's start to analyze. First, point A. Point A shoulder hit is not a bad choice, but I think it does not make a lot of sense as there is still a clamp. As there is a clamp, black could not surround a lot of territories on this edge. As a result, you don't afraid black to play a jump to expand the territories as there is a clamp that could destroy a lot of territories for black. So I don't like point A. And point D, cut. When you play point D cut, you need to be careful that not only because black could hit and connect will hurt these two white stones. And other stuff is that you need to notice that black connect is actually a center. Because in the next move, black could play a Hane, capture the free white stone. As a result, this is actually a center for black, and black is more strong than it looks. You may think that after white cut, white may play an Atali in the future, but this Atali could not be played by white, as this is actually black center. So point D starting a fight here is too hurry. White have not prepared for the fight. After black hits and connects, black is more active in the fight as white is weaker. And so you play that point B. I think point B is not a bad choice if you expect black to play this one and white jump. Then black wedge, white hit, black connect, and white play a tiger move or play a diagonal move. Then the result seems to be okay for white. However, always remember that it's possible for black to play counter attack and divide the white. If white play this shoulder hit, if I'm black, I will probably play another shoulder hit at this point, dividing the two white group. Then white have two weak group. Having two weak group is quite difficult for white. As a result, my choice in this question is playing point C. After playing point C, in the next move, I could play the shoulder hit to limit black expansion. And actually, black could not find a good expansion after white played point C. For example, black playing something like the light move, it looks strange and doesn't look very efficient. And one more reason is that after white played the jump, the cut would become more effective for white. So white jump is actually looking for a Miai. Point B and point D become two good points for white to play in the next move. I think point C is a good choice for white. Question 4. You played at point B, so you are afraid that white continue to expand the model and you want to escape immediately.
Yes.
I think black do not need to be that hurry. It's a bit about experience, but I noticed one thing. Let me start to analyze all the moves first. Here, black have a center, which is point A, Hane and connect. After Hane and connect, if white don't connect, then black could cut. If white connect, black could play the clamp. So this is a very great move. However, I think if I'm black, I would not play point A at the moment because my consideration is that if white playing point A are center, if white playing point A is a center, then probably I would consider playing the Hanen. However, white playing point A trying to get the center, I think black could play the Atari and get into the edge. As a result, I don't think point A is actually a center for white. After white played the point A, black played Atari, then black could Tenuki. As point A is not a center for white, I don't think black need to hurry to play the Hane now, as it would help strengthen the white stone and this stone become less active after the exchange. So I won't play point A now, but I have noticed that I could play this point A in the future. That's why I would consider playing corner enclosure, point C or point E. Because I could play the Hane anytime and to limit white's territory. So I think playing escape is not that hurry. It creates a weak group for whites to utilize the influence to attack the black. I don't like this one. I think playing a solid move like point E or point C would be better. Because after point E, if white play the point C, then black could consider escaping through point B. If white try to block in the center, then actually whites do not have many territories because there is point A, and black could also play something like this after point E. And so I think point E and point C make sense. Point C is a move that is less solid because the gap is large. White may consider playing invasion or free invasion, but point C provide another Tetsuji, which is attach and cut. Playing point C is also making sense. I think both C and E is a choice. But point D is not a good choice in my opinion because point D is just middle from nowhere. It could not protect the corner very good, but it also do not have good invasion to white territories like point C. As a result, my choice would be point C or E. While point B, too focusing on destroying the Moyok, I think this will create a weak group and the board is still very large. I think playing the corner would be my first choice before starting to active this stone. Question 5. Your choice is point D, escaping these two black stones. I think the idea is that when you try to divide your opponent or escaping some stones, you need to consider how many weak groups are there. After you escape this one, black has one weak group and white also has one weak group. While this black group and this white group are both solid. As a result, escaping point D would lead to a fair fight. It's hard to say good or bad, but it's really not a keystone because both black and white have one weak group and it's not actually a keystone. Because if white spend a move to capture these two black stones, black did not lose a lot of stuff. It's not really urgent to play.
I thought it was good to separate and keep these upper white stones weak because they are rapidly. If I can't escape, they're going to be very strong easily.
Yes, I understand your point, but my point is that white only has one weak group. It's not difficult to manage one weak group, and black also has one weak group. So it's just fair fight. If after black escape, white has two weak group, then this will become keystone. But now white only has one weak group. As a result, I think this is actually not that urgent. And now let's start to analyze other moves. Point A is a silly move, while point E is actually a big move, but I think the focus is on the left now. Lastly, let's take a look at point C and point B. Point C is actually a great move. The reason is that if black don't play point C, for example, playing point D as you have suggested, white playing a Hane is a good move. What will you do if white play the Hane after you play point D? You probably will extend this one.
Yes.
Yes. But when you extend this one, white play a two-space extension. It seems so smooth for white. Getting this as a center and then playing this as two-space extension is so smooth for white. As a result, I think point C may actually be a choice after I play point C. If white play this move, play point D, then I could play point B. Then it is a good pace. However, if I play point C, I'm thinking, what about white play this immediately? Then black escape point D. White also escape. Well, this is also a considerable choice, but as I have suggested, both white and black is a weak group and is a fair fight, and in this exchange, point C do not have territories. However, white getting two space extension could get territories. As a result, my final choice is point B. If I play point B, if white play Hane, I extend. Point B is still a good point, trying to capture this stone. If I play point B, while white try to play the jump escape, then now I playing point C. Then if white play point D, I could attack these two white stone first by playing a jump. And if white continue to escape, then I could consider playing this escape. The difference is that I prevent white to play the two space extension and preventing white to get the base and territories. I think this is the way to utilize this strong group. This is a strong group, and I think point B is the way to utilize the strong group. This is my final choice.
So, for example, black plays C and white plays B. So can still invade in the Sansan.
So Sansan, okay, this invasion.
Yeah.
I understand your point. So maybe I will play two space extension. If black play the 3-3 invasion, white block this way, and white stones are working in a good position. Yeah, I understand what you mean. If white played a high position, then this move could not protect the 3-3 invasion in a very good way. But actually, it is also fine. For example, let me show you this one. So it's basically this shape. And when white played the 3-3 invasion, white block, and black playing here, probably will become something like this one. I think black stones are all in an okay position. Not bad. Black stones are not bad. But of course, it's usually better to have a stone here because black could simply play a double Hanet.
Yeah.
And white need to leave the corner in a very small way. It's much smaller than the normal 3-3 Joseki. But yeah, I understand your point. Question 6. Question 6, you have chosen point B, playing approach here.
Because of the left corner to the right direction.
Yeah. This, when we have this corner, it's good to expand on the bottom edge.
Yes.
Good. So let's start to analyze. Firstly, point A is simply a slow move. I understand that letting white to play capture, there is still a cut, so it's uncomfortable for black. However, point A is simply a Gorte, and even if point A is a center for white, it's only worth a few points. As a result, it's not a key point to play. Point A is wrong. And then point C. Point C is trying to give pressure to the center group. However, the center group shape is quite solid. So I don't think giving pressure to the center group is very meaningful at the moment. If white shape is worse, then I think point C would make sense. And lastly, point B or point D. Both are approach, but usually we like to play approach on the wider way that there is less stones. So placing a stone on the wider way would carry higher efficiency. I think point B carry higher efficiency than point D, unless black has more stones in the center and black wants to divide the two white stones. However, currently I don't think black playing point D could attack these two white stones effectively. As a result, I think considering the whole game, point B is actually one of the best moves. But this is not my answer. My answer is actually playing point E.
Okay.
The reason why I will playing point E is that white playing point E is actually a center. If white playing point E, the next move white could play the attach. And this is very strong. As a result, if white playing point E, black may need to play a jump to protect the shape. If black need to play a move to protect the shape, then the exchange seems to be quite happy for. While if black could play the clamp, white playing tiger mouth and black play the extension. Although black get a Gorte, but after the exchange, black invasion is also very obvious. As a result, I will play point E. I just don't like white could get the center benefit. Usually, center benefit is very great. If an opponent could gain a center benefit, we want to prevent it, but it's hard to tell. For example, point A may also be a center benefit, but at this moment, point A is not worthy because white corner is very solid and point A is just about a few points. But point E, I think, is great.
Point E, I think even if I understand that it prevents from a Sante move, I think it's at this stage of the game, I think it's even too early because if white doesn't respond and white plays B or something else somewhere else,
I understand your point. So I think point B is also very great. I think point B is surely not a wrong move. It is hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But point B is simply a big point. After white play point B, I could still play shoulder hit. I could still play extension. There are always a lot of big points to choose in the game. However, if white could exchange it in center, then white gained it immediately. I don't like letting the opponent to gain immediately.
Okay.
Question 7, you choose Tengen. I think it is a balanced move. I also like the idea. In this position, I think both invasion of point A and C is not very good. I think point C may be better. Point C is also good point to invade because this is actually a solid shape and dividing this stone with white's corner may be a worthy move. However, point A is really not a good invasion because both corner is so solid and placing a splitting move here is boring. Now let's analyze other move. I think point B is better than point D because I think the focus of expansion is on the top right. So point B is slightly better than point D in my opinion. Point B D is just a bit too greedy. Black gap is again too huge. White could easily invade in any point. Sometimes point D is a good move if you have a strong move to pressure this stone. But in this occasion, I think there is no good after move of point D. As a result, I think point B is better. And of course, point E is also a great move, just not interesting enough. Point E is so solid, but point B is more fun to play in my opinion. I would like to create a big model and ask white to invade than playing point E. I think it's just a matter of days, but I like point B more. Question 8. Question 8, you choose point D to space extension. I think it's also a very solid choice. Let's start to analyze different moves. So point A is trying to divide the white stone. It's again the problem that you divide one weak group. You create one weak group. However, this group is solid. So when you divide this group, when black play this one, what if you are white, what would you play? If I'm white, I will actually play a one space jump, getting base. And we can see that black seems hitting cotton. This is actually a term in Chinese. I don't know what is in English. That means hitting something very soft. It's not powerful to hit a cotton. As a result, playing extension is better. I think both point C and D is great. When you play point C, after white play a defensive move, there is still invasion. So point D also makes sense. But point C also makes sense because if you play point D, white could play point C. I understand that. As a result, it's hard to tell C or D which is better. I think both are good points. But point E would be too timid, too solid, over concentrated. I think C and D is our choice. Lastly, point B. I think if this group is really weak, point B is actually very valuable. However, we need to be more precise looking at this group. Black connect. If white wants to attack the group, white need to connect, right? And then you find that actually black could get center like the block or any stuff because there is still a cut. As a result, black shape may be stronger than you think, and white have some defect. So this is not a weak group. Black do not need to play point B at the moment. I will play point D. Question 9. In this question, you play the point C. Firstly, we need to talk about point E. Point E is actually a point to prevent white to play the Atari. and then connect. But we need to really think about the variation here. After white Atari, black extend, white connect, black bend. Is the fight really good for white? If white need to play the band, then it's a very inefficient shape. I think black do not afraid of white escaping. And if white try to play the attach, black could even wedge. White hit, black connect, white hit, black extend, white connect, black bend. White may capture these two black stones, but black sacrificing it and getting the influence outside is much better than white. So, Pawn E seems not urgent at the moment. It will be a great move, but I think it is not urgent at the moment. And then let's talk about pawn A and B. Pawn A is trying to expand the center. However, black stones on the left are on the front line, and it's not the moment to expand the Moyo, I think. It's a low position, and if black have more stones here, then playing pawn A would make more sense, but currently, as you have suggested, corner should be bigger than the center, unless black have more stones working with pawn A. Currently, these two stones are on front line, so the value to expand this side is not that much, because white could easily invade through shoulder hit. And pawn B is obviously a bad move. You don't want to play so near this corner. This is a very solid corner. When you place a move at pawn B, whites do not need to play any defensive move. Whites could easily invade, and pawn B is simply not good. You don't want to play so near a solid shape. So, lastly, we only have pawn C and pawn D left. Usually, we will play pawn C for the corner enclosure. But in this position, I actually like pawn D. Because I think after pawn D, white is difficult to invade the edge. If I play pawn C, white could play 2-5 invasion or approach to destroy my edge. As a result, in this occasion, my choice would be pawn D, but certainly pawn C would not be a bad choice. And in this question, you have chosen pawn C. Pawn C is also my choice. Again, let's analyze a bit. So pawn A invading this corner. Invading the corner with a knight move enclosure usually would be a move played a bit later. This corner is very solid, and you want to start the core by playing the Joseki, but this is not a very big move. Usually we will play a bit later. After you play the invasion white block, this stone is just in a perfect position, preventing the black to leave the corner. As a result, white could get good efficiency. You would do that later. And pawn B cut. Too strong. Although white could not play the ladder because you have a stone here, but there are many stones here and they are not weak stones. So cutting off too strong group is not meaningful. I don't know what you could gain by playing the cut. When you play the cut, usually you want to cut off at least one weak group, or in the best case, you want to cut off 2 weak groups. So you could gain by attacking the weak groups. But in this case, both groups are not weak, so playing the cut does not make a lot of sense. And pawn E is a great move. However, allowing white to play pawn C would make this stone embarrassing. This stone is in middle of nowhere. As a result, playing pawn C is better to look after this stone. I think pawn C is obviously fine, but pawn D is also very interesting, I would say. Pawn D is also very interesting. Because when you play pawn D, I think probably white need to play a retreat. If white try to play Hane, black could play double Hane, and white is helping the black to getting a strong influence. So I think point D is also interesting. But you are correct. Point C and D. In this question, I'm actually quite amazed that you get point E. I think point E is the correct answer. The reason is what I have suggested before. I do not like my opponent's game in center. If I play any move A, B, C, D, no matter what, white could play the ladder. And if black responds, the key point is that white not only have the choice to capture, white could actually also consider Tenuki after the exchange, point E and hit. Because if black play the point E, white have no chance to play the exchange. But if white play point E and black decided to play the Atari, the exchange is already benefited for the white. I don't want this to happen. I hate center benefit. So I like point E. The only concern for point E is that if you play point E, you should be prepared for white to play the attach and Hane. It's not that it's a big problem, but you should have considered the variation. Because if white could get the corner too easily, then point E would lose the efficiency. So this is a point to be noted. Now let's talk about ABCD. I think point C is the best among ABCD. Point D is a move that if your opponent is not strong and you expected your opponent to play Hane and connect and then black get a 2-space extension, then yeah, point D will get a very good result. However, if you are in down level and you expect your opponents to play counter-attack, then point D would be a bit too strong because black would obviously play something like the pincer to attack point D. So point C would be better. And point A is strange. I don't know why playing at point A. White could simply play pincer, and I don't find a good response after the pincer. Yeah. But point E, I like it. Question 12. You choose point B. So point B is also my choice. And again, let's analyze. Point A continue to expand, ignoring Black's Moyo is quite greedy. It is some Cho Chicken style, but I don't think it is a good move. The reason is that this is a solid group and this is also a solid group. Expanding solid group is not very meaningful. As a result, you should pay your attention to limit Black's Moyo. And obviously, D and E would be a very aggressive choice to invade Black's Moyo. And as a result, I think B and C is better. It's hard to tell which is better. I have considered that maybe if white play pawn C, black playing the knight move would be a strong move because the RG here looks a bit strange after black played the knight move. However, RG is a lazy excuse. You need to think clearly. And after I think clearly, I think actually point C works too. Both point B and point C works. I don't think point C is problematic. But anyway, maybe point C leaving a good dividing point for black is not as good as point B because after white play point B, it is not easy for black to find a good attack. So yeah, point B is good. Question 13. You choose point B. A net. This is also a solid choice, I would say. I would also choose point B. I think point A is strange. It expand here, but black could invade this side. And black could invade something in the middle, so it's strange. And point C is too greedy because black could active this stone and point C may not be a very efficient position that could help the fight. White may also consider playing point E. Point E is also a considerable choice, but I don't like after black play the knight move. White do not have good response. As a result, very common to consider between point B or D. Some people may think that point D is more efficient, But I think point B is a more solid choice. I think after white capture this stone, black also need to consider to invade white's moyor. Playing point D may be more efficient considering the territories. However, black have a push and a clamp, so white could not get much territories here. And having a weak group here is actually quite annoying. For example, after black plays something like the attach or the shoulder hit, after some move here, the escape of this stone, activating this stone would become more effective for black. So capturing it, preventing this stone to active is valuable. Question 14. You choose point C, jump. What is your idea about this move?
First, I was wondering if I should connect point B.
Point B.
Yeah, that as white in the corner could still live, so there are no force really helping D and E, so I wouldn't play. And point A, I don't know. Maybe it seems too early to me.
I see. Okay. Point A, I understand the meaning of point A. It makes the black uncomfortable. If black try to extend, white could extend and start a fight, and obviously black is not good. So black need to play a tiger mouth and letting white to hit. So white may get into black space. I understand the idea of point A, and it's quite happy for white to play the clamp to the shape. However, we could not just play because it's happy. If we consider the afterwards, we will find that after black play the tiger mouth and connect all the stones, black is a solid shape. Black do not have any risk attacking by the white. So point A is happy but not really important. And point B, as you have suggested, after black cut, actually black B is not a center. Because if black connect, white play the hane. If black play the extension or hane, white could capture the stone. So the cut is not a center. As a result, you choose point C. Choose point C. You think it's more efficient than playing point B to connect. But my opinion is that if point B is not a move, then point C is also not having great value. Because point B is simply a Gorte, if black cut, white could escape. I think the problem for black cut is that this move, although creating a weak group for white, but it really doesn't have any territories. As a result, after black cut, white escape, I think it's not late for white to escape. As a result, I think I will just get the big point E. Just get the big point. It's just a big point, and point B or point C don't have points, so I played a move with points. Simply like that. I understand this also suggested by another student that they think that, well, there is a stone here, so maybe this invasion, this approach is not very active, but you would invade the black even if it's a Chinese opening, right? In Chinese opening, it's even more close. Now, this black stone is placing at this point, so invading is not a problem. If black hits, white just extend and just get a two-space extension, it's fine. If black playing this one, well, there is many choice for white. White may consider playing the attach, or white may consider playing into another side, because this move, this exchange already prevented black to play the corner enclosure. It already prevented black to play the corner enclosure, so it's fine already. In the future, there are many choice for white to active this stone. For example, this is also a choice for white to play. Or a simple jump is also fine. A simple jump may not be very interesting at the moment because white don't have territories. But it will be a choice in the future when there is no obvious big point. In the last question, you have chosen point B to expand the center. I have chatted AI for this question actually. And point B is actually one of the best choice, is the best choice among these 5 points. So you have good feeling. So let's talk about this few move. Point A, placing a move on the edge. Obviously, the edge is not valuable, so no, point A is not good. And point C, this move could not help white to expand the Moyo as good as point B. Point B, in the next move, white could block, and if black play something like the climb, white play the jump, white could expand the center better than playing point C, allowing black to play some move here. So point B is better than point C in terms of expanding the center Moyo. Point C may have a function of limiting black's development, but it's not very effective. And after that is point D and E. 2-4 invasion is usually not as good as 2-5 invasion in 90% of occasion. There is some occasion that 2-4 invasion is better. In terms of getting the corner's territory, point D is more effective than point E. But in most of the occasion, point E is better because when you play point D, it's possible black to play on the edge. And after black placing any move on the edge, white could only play a diagonal move to get the corner. And it's much better if you play point E and play a knight move. A knight move is better than a diagonal move to get into the corner. As a result, usually point E is a better invasion. Just in some rare occasion that the corner's territories is more important, you will play point D. Although I have checked AI, point B is the best choice according to, but I think the center is a bit weak. It's a bit about style, I think. I think point E is more practical because the territories are obvious on the edge, but not very obvious on the center. It's still very abstract. So I will choose point E in this position. And you can see this is the comment given out by the site. It's very flexible, and only high level and talent player can reach such results. So actually, in this test, it also have preference. Although it seems asking out about Go style, but actually it have preference about what is a better choice in opening. And I hope my sharing could give you some idea of how to think in opening. I think it's really good to try out different types of opening in your real game because although in terms of tournaments, it's better to play what you know the best. But in terms of getting know about the universe of Go, you should try out more different types of opening and learn comprehensively.
From now, I think this like to pay attention to center moves. This is
yes, this is difficult.
And also, like I don't think clearly enough in weak groups.
I need to point out that I think you basically make a great job in this opening test. Your choices are quite solid and they are good enough. I just want to share how I wrote out my answer, and I hope it will become useful. Yeah. So a last thing, although I have stated that apparently there is better choice and worse choice, but I think the key to define a better player or a worse player is always not about openings, but about the skills in fighting and calculation. So having your own style is totally not problematic, even though you are not being flexible, you are being greedy. If you like it, then I think you could totally play for it. Opening choices and style is totally not determinal to the game of Go, and in terms of art, it's always fun to have your own style. Go is not only about winning or losing, it's also an art. You could have your own style. Just, I think it's Also good to bear in mind that sometimes Go is not about style. There is really a better moment to get influence, a better moment to cut off opponents, and better moment to get the territories. Sometimes there is a better thing to do, and it's not about style. If you bear in mind with that, you could balance between having your own style and playing objectively good. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.